Hello and welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be doing the unboxing, assembly, and first use of the Titan Attachment Forklift Work Platform. This is model number 194133, and I bought this with my own money from PalletForks.com, which is the primary website for Titan attachments. The reason I went with this one over something from like Beaver or other popular brands is I was hoping that this had better workmanship with it, better materials with it, stronger safety compared to those others, and I was hoping for a US made product. Unfortunately, packaging is abysmal, and I could definitely tell you that it's not USA made. This is actually sourced out of India, so hopefully it's still better than the Beaver model, but we won't know until we get into it. So as you can tell, this thing went through some really rough shipping. The plastic that's on the outside did not survive the shipping process. It's got a huge, the whole top of it is completely off. And this side over here has a bunch of rips in it. And then if we actually look at the box itself, you can see that the box is extremely damaged, which I don't mind a damaged box, but what I don't like is whenever my product comes from the factory where the bubble wrap isn't secured, isn't proper on a corner, and I already have bad scuffs all the way down to the metal on the corners. And it's not just one corner. We have this corner, that's a problem, and this corner over here has been exposed as well. And if we just pull back a little bit on the bubble wrap that's not going around the corner, we can see that this corner as well has been damaged and is exposed. And we can see down here, it's not just one part. This thing went through the ringer being shipped through FedEx. So let's go ahead and rip into this. All right, here's the lid. Right along this edge, we can see that we have damage here. And let's not do any cuts. I want to keep that same camera view. You can see we have damage here. You can see that we have really good damage down here. We have a nick here. Coming around the other side. We've got some damage here on the rear clasp that the chains go through to hold it. That whole thing has all of the paint rubbed off it. We'll bring it over here in just a second. You can see the damage that's on this side here. Now I know with equipment there's going to be damage in transit. There is. That's not a problem. I understand minor dings and everything. But looking this over, I mean, there is definitely a bit beyond normal wear and tear with something. Now fortunately, even though the box is trashed, the hardware is still here, so I'm happy about that. It looks like some assembly instructions. I know one of the big complaints about the Beaver models and other ones similar to it, I'm not picking on Beaver here because I don't own one, but I can just go off the videos I've read, and watched rather, is things like this don't line up. At least from the factory, those things are lining up, so that's good. Yeah, looking at the inside of this, there was a problem with the metal. The metal itself did not accept the paint appropriately. So I'm going to be contacting Titan Attachments and seeing if they will provide a can of this spray paint so that I can actually wire brush it down, put some primer on it, and then put some of the same color yellow paint, or orange paint rather, back on top of it. Okay, so a quick update here. I contacted Titan Attachments on Friday, and by Tuesday, they actually had responded with some information. They said, thanks for reaching out to Titan. We apologize for the inconvenience. We will have to ask you to source the paint locally as we are unable to send out paint as a part. And they gave me the paint code. For those of you who need it, it is red orange paint code RAL 2001. We would be glad to offer a 10% partial refund on the item to make up for the trouble. So kudos to them that they were willing to actually give a partial refund. I accepted the refund and said that was totally acceptable for me. So that is the quick update. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. Okay, so let's see what we have inside the envelope. QR code so that we can get the manual and activate your warranty. We have a Titan attachment applique that you can put on equipment. We have a Titan attachment sticker, and then a Titan attachment, just info card. Thanks for buying our product. Here's some more info about us. And then inside the package for the accessories, and here we have chain. We have connecting points for that chain. The ones up front, we have locking carabiners. So they're not twist locks. They just have the standard arrow lock that locks into the top. And so we have two of those chains. And those are going to go right here across the front. So we simply click it in over there and click it in over here. And then on the next one, click it in and click it in. And then for this one, and both of these are actually heavy duty chains. Like, that is one of the big complaints about the Vevers and others similar to it, is the chains are not heavy duty. These are actually some decent chain. These are probably in the neighborhood of 5,000 pound braking force chains. So that's actually more than what it's rated for. So these are actually really good. But for this, you simply unscrew, you put this on the point here, screw this back in, and then you take this, wrap it around the physical tractor or forks or whatever you're using, and then you attach this onto the other side. So assembly and setup is very simple, not difficult at all. Now the nice thing is these do collapse, so it makes it very easy to store it. Now this does not have wheels. A lot of the newer models that you can get from the Chinese manufacturers out there, they actually have casters on the bottom to help with this, and they actually have the bolts, the nuts rather, welded onto the runners, the bottom of the runners, so your threads do not come through where your forks are going to be. So that's actually a good thing. But I will say that the runners are exactly as advertised. The runners go the entire distance. Ultimately, I'm really happy with it. And for those curious, this is actually the back side. This is the front side. I know there's some, like, I don't know why, but there's some confusion in a lot of other YouTube videos saying that this should go around the top of the protective guard of the forks themselves, but that is not correct. Your connection points are back here. This is where your lashing will be up to your pallet forks. This is simply here not to make a door, because this folds down. So it would not make sense for this to be the door. That actually folds down. There's no way that you could get in there. It is 36 inches tall roughly, and by the time you lay it down, that would leave you no door to get in. Now, it's not going to be excessively sturdy with something like this. You're going to have play in it. It's going to be able to rock back and forth. So if you're up and this type of stuff scares you, then this isn't going to be the lift for you. And I'm okay with it because of what function I am going to be using it. The other thing you could do, if this is something that truly bothers you, is you could ultimately drill and put a bolt through this. But if you're going to do that, you should just purchase the upgraded version of this, and it actually has an additional safety cage that goes even higher. But for my purposes, this is exactly what I need. I just need to get a little bit higher into some of the oak trees in order to catch some of the dead branches that are way up there. So the damage that was done to this in transit, I'm not surprised that it got damaged in transit with how it was boxed. Is it a showstopper? No, it's not a showstopper. I just know that if it is going to be stored in an area that has a lot of humidity, which we have a lot of humidity in this area, then it's going to rust. So all these areas are going to have to be repaired. If I do not paint them, prime and paint them, then these will be rusting, and that's a problem for me. I don't want to have that. I spent way more money for this one compared to any other version that is out there, and I expect when I'm spending $500 as opposed to $130, which I could buy the Chinese version of this for, When I'm spending $500, I want proper packaging. I want it to come to me undamaged and unspoiled. For $500, I don't expect to see paint already flaking off the day it arrives. That is highly unacceptable whenever you're spending $500 to have something like this. You're wanting to have something that is high quality and is going to last and is already built from the factory in a very good condition. Again, you can get these as little as 130. I have seen the Viver version of this going for 160. So the price of this, for being what it was, I was expecting higher quality shipping. I was expecting a product that didn't already have rust on it from the factory. So all of those are things that actually are going to sway me. Do I want to purchase from Titan Equipment again? Or Titan Attachments, or do I want to go ahead and spend significantly less to get the Chinese version? This isn't made in America, it's made in India, which I have no fault with India, but I was looking for a made in America product. So all of this now comes into play whenever I'm going to purchase next time. Quality of the product I am buying for the amount of money that I am spending. Alright, so my goal here is I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to tilt it forward. Even though you shouldn't do this, I want to make sure the chain is actually going to hold. I'm pretty confident it is, but I want to make sure it's actually going to hold it in place. Hold on to the side as I lift you. Okay, so one of the things with this one compared to the other ones is this didn't come with a safety harness. I was hoping it would for the price, but it didn't. So that is going to be the next thing that I purchased. I wanted to show it in use on this video, and that's the only reason we did it without the safety harness. Now for me, the safety harness is going to be ringed to the actual forks themselves. So if for some reason this even falls off, that the individual will still be on the forks and still be safe. So whenever you were up there, did it feel secure?
It felt pretty good.
Felt pretty good. Now, I know there was a couple of times I kind of wiggle it just a little too much whenever I was going up. It's difficult to be precise with the tractor, but overall, did you feel that you were unsafe on it?
No.
Good. Okay. How did it work overall? Was that better than trying to climb up a ladder and do the work?
I'd say so.
Okay. Was it better than sitting in a bucket?
Yes.
And trying to do the work? Perfect. Anything you didn't like about it whenever you were up there?
It might be a bit close to the tractor when you're cutting the limbs off, but other than that, it's really good.
Okay. So debris safety
Yeah.
is what you're concerned about. Yeah, that makes sense. But we could help alleviate that by cutting some of the branches further out and then work our way towards the trunk. So, okay, good. Anything else you want to add to it?
I don't believe so.
Awesome. So that is our review of the Titan Attachment forklift basket / lift that you can purchase. Again, it's $500 from the website, and I'll probably do a follow-up video as well with me repairing so that everybody can see what you have to do to repair something like this. Thanks for watching.